Much has been written over the years about famed environmentalist and entrepreneur Yvon Chouinard. From his humble emergence as a rock climber in the Yosemite Valley to the explosive launch of the renowned Patagonia clothing company, Chouinard has become a celebrated advocate for sustainable mountaineering as well as sustainable business practices. An avid surfer, kayaker, falconer, and fisherman, Yvon Chouinard and the Patagonia catalog were among the first to champion the clean climbing movement in North America. Chouinard's company has since campaigned for ethical working conditions in the apparel industry, for the preservation of the Alaska Wildlife Refuge, and most notably, spurred the creation of the organic cotton industry. The history of Patagonia, as well as Yvon Chouinard's activist and environmentalist roots, are chronicled in his 2005 autobiography, Let My People Go Surfing: The Education of a Reluctant Businessman. In October of 2008, the Scheinfeld Program for Entrepreneurship and Innovation welcomed Yvon Chouinard for an exclusive Q&A event at Santa Barbara City College.
Thank you, sir. I just remind all of you that Mr. Chouinard appears in front of many, many groups, and usually very large groups, and he requested this evening, coming to Santa Barbara City College, that it be a question and answer session where he had an opportunity in a more intimate setting to meet with students and hear their questions and answer their questions. I asked Yvon something outside before we entered, and I think it's worthwhile asking him again because I think it sheds some light on who he is and maybe what's even made his company so successful. And I said, what's the criteria you use to determine who you hire in your company? And so I will ask you the question again so that you can share your response with the group, because I thought it was really a very insightful response.
Well, I was telling Bonnie that for every job opening we have 900 applications on the average, because everybody wants to work for us. And so how do we pick? Well, first of all, we try to, if it's a very specialized job, we try to pick somebody who's can do the job. But if it's not real specialized, I'd rather hire an athlete who does the sports that we feature in our catalogs and stuff, and then teach them business. Because it's a lot easier than teaching a businessman to have passion for the environment or the outdoors or something. And then, you know, we try to get somebody that does the sport, and also, since the reason I'm in business is really to kind of save the planet. I mean, we consider our stockholder to be planet Earth. Every decision we make as a company, we ask, is this the right thing to do for the planet? And that's a different way of looking at business. So we look to see that somebody has volunteered for an environmental organization or something. And then the last thing is, do we want to go to dinner with this person? If not, they'd never get in. What we do is we hire very independent and people who are self-motivated, and then leave them alone. And I don't care when they come to work. I don't care if they take off in the middle of the day and go surfing for 3 hours. All I care is that the work is done. And nobody abuses that.
That's
and in fact, we had a psychologist do a study of our company one time, and he came to me and said, hey, I got to tell you something. You have the most independent employees I've ever seen in any company. And in fact, they're so independent, they're unemployable anywhere else. And so the key is getting all those independent people moving in one direction. You know, you'd think it's like herding cats. But the key is you got to build consensus. Now that's the opposite of what government does. Government compromises, right? They cut the baby in half, always. And compromise never really solves the problem. It only halfway solves the problem. There's either a right way or a wrong way, not a halfway. So you got to build consensus, and you got to get everybody agreed, and then they all go in one direction.
Very interesting. Thank you for your question. We have another young man over here, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chouinard. Thank you for coming this evening. I just have a single question for you. You were talking earlier about one of the keys to success of your company is having a bunch of independent people come together with a consensus. You must have some secret. How do you do that? What's your how do you get a bunch of people that are seeming independent to be able to work together so well and create so much success?
Well, we look for that. And we have a choice from 900 people, so we look for those qualities in people. But what happens is we almost hire from within, almost always. What happens is somebody really wants to work for us. They go work in one of our retail stores as a clerk, just a salesperson, and then they get first dibs on the jobs.
Many of the young people and students here tonight have aspirations of maybe starting their own business, becoming entrepreneurial in the future, and I did highlight that section of the book where you talk about study the juvenile delinquent. Can you explain what you think are the critical qualities for these young people to have if they want to be successful as entrepreneurs in the future?
Well, let me tell you, it was a lot easier to start a business when I was young because the competition was a lot. I mean, I started out making tools for mountain climbers. I was a blacksmith. And the quality of the climbing tools, the ice axes and crampons and pitons, was very, very low. So it was very easy to be innovative and just take every single tool and look at it and say, I can make it better than this. And, but, I mean, if you're going to start your own business in this day and age, it's really tough because you're going against huge companies making a similar product, and the only way you can be successful is to break the rules and to do something different, because you don't want, I mean, for me, hell, I'll tell you what one of the 7th level of hell would be, is to be down there and they make me head of a marketing. They make me head of marketing for a cola company. And I have to sell my product against Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola. And it's exactly the same thing. It's 3 cents worth of sugar and water, and you got to fight it out, with mirrors and smoke. And I mean, that would be hell. I mean, the only part of business that I really enjoy is breaking the rules and then proving that it works. And that's, I think that's what you'd have to do to start your own business these days. You got to find a hole somewhere that somebody's not filling. I have a lot of young people ask me, hey, I got this idea, what should I do with it? And rarely is it worth starting a company around it. I think it's better to go to an existing company that makes a similar product that hopefully you trust, and you give them the idea and get a royalty off of it or something. But I mean, to start your own business in this day and age, I mean, it costs so much, and just in computers and just take the easy way.
Please, yes, sir. You're next.
Hi, Mr. Chouinard. My name's Tucker Olson, and I was wondering, as far as I understand,